All right. Welcome to the show. I'm Chris Mannix. I'm the writer. No fighter this week. Sergio Mora is over in Saudi Arabia already getting ready to call the Ring 4 card live on DAZN. So instead, I'm going to bring you something better. I'm going to bring you the man behind Sergio Mora, the puppeteer to Sergio Mora, the Geppetto to his Pinocchio, the man who trained Sergio to a world title and then watched in horror as he lost it months later. Dean Campos, welcome to The Fighter and the Writer. Right. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Why do you always dress like you're about to knock off a 7-Eleven?
Because, I don't know, you're white. And everybody that dresses in black is about to knock off a 7-Eleven.
Just saying. You also continue your unprecedented tradition of never being on time. I feel like...
I was 8 minutes late, Mannix.
If you had told me, though, 5 years ago that I would spend I would be devoting this much time in my life to making sure Mexicans get somewhere on time, I wouldn't have believed you. But between my wife, my broadcast partner, and you, it's like basically shuttling 3 kids around.
Yeah, we run on Mexican time. This is different. White people are always early. We don't do that shit.
We're punctual. We're punctual. We like to be
that's
punctual.
Not cool, though. That's not cool.
It's not.
You get there late. You come down late. You got to be the man when you walk down. You got to you got to fucking walk on the red carpet when you come somewhere. So you don't want to be early.
No, all right. I'd like to be a little bit early so I can settle in and get ready to go.
I don't have to settle.
All right. We're going to talk about this Ring 4 card coming up this weekend. The David Benavidez, Anthony Yarde fight headlining. Also have Devin Haney going up against Brian Norman. And a really interesting fight between Bam Rodriguez and Puma Martinez on that card as well. But I got to get your take on the news that's still out there in the news, and that is that Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul are really going to go at it. You were asking me in the car right over here, like, is that really going to happen? Is it really going to happen? It is going to happen December 19th in Miami, Florida. Some of the rules that are involved, it's 8 3-minute rounds, traditional boxing, 10-ounce gloves, traditional heavyweight boxing. Anthony Joshua cannot weigh more than 245 pounds for this fight. I was actually told there is a weight penalty for AJ if he comes over 245, but he's made that weight many times in his career. That shouldn't be a big deal. Other than that, it's a fight, Dean. Your thoughts on AJ and Jake being official?
Man, they better get a stretcher because this is going to be ugly. I mean, I can't even believe that somebody's going to sanction this fight. Because he's going to get hit, and it's going to be bad. The poor guy's going to fall back, and he might hit his head somewhere. And that's where the problem's going to start. So they better get all emergency help they can. Because unless they have some weird deal going on the background, this is bad, bro.
Yeah,
bad.
But they're never... People have said that, right? They've suggested, like, oh, maybe there's a side deal where AJ allows Jake Paul to survive the fight and doesn't go all out. The same conspiracy theories people threw out there with Mike Tyson. All I can say to that is that Jake Paul has what I would expect to be a 9-figure Saudi deal waiting for him in 2026, which could potentially finish with a Tyson Fury fight. Jake Paul's not coming here to Miami to screw this up. Jake Paul's coming to make 25, 30 million bucks to be on the biggest stage he possibly can, Anthony Joshua, to make that much money, to fight in front of the biggest on the audience that he has ever fought in his career, and to knock Jake Paul into oblivion. There's no way that AJ is screwing around against Jake Paul.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the problem. If they were screwing around, then okay, I'd say, all right, he's going to be all right. But if he lets this guy go 8 rounds with him, that's going to be one of the biggest travesties I've ever seen in boxing.
Well, isn't that that to me is the most interesting part of all this. Like, Jake Paul's never going to win. And the most likely outcome to me is the same thing we saw at Francis Ngannou. He gets knocked down, gets up, and then just gets absolutely starched. And it is just, it is the perfect example of the difference in combat sports, where Anthony Joshua showed Ngannou that.
Yeah.
But the longer the fight goes, the better it gets for Jake Paul. Like, Jake Paul doesn't have to win. If Jake Paul gets the second half of this fight, Jake Paul already has one. If Jake Paul got to the 6th round, I would fake a knee injury. I'd be like, oh man, I ankle sprain, or I got bursitis, or I've got gout. I've got something going on that I can't continue.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If Jake Paul, this is how I see it. If Jake Paul gets to the middle of the first round, I'll give him fucking credit. Because this fight should be over literally in the first 25 seconds. If Joshua just goes right at him, holds his hands up, Jake Paul throws his little sissy punches, this guy comes with a left hook right hand, the fight is going to be over. If it doesn't happen that way, shame on Joshua.
Okay, let me address something else that you said there. You questioned the sanctioning of this fight as a real fight.
Yeah.
You go to a lot of fights. You see a lot of these prelims. You've been involved in one-sided fights. Mm-hmm. I would argue that the gap in talent and the gap in everything between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is smaller than some of the gaps that we see in fights on regular cards. And I brought up in the past Joshua Edwards as an example, 2024 U.S. Olympian heavyweight. I've called, I think, 3 or 4 of Joshua Edwards' first 5 fights. He has fought bouncers. Like, he's not fighting real guys. I would certainly argue that the difference in talent between Joshua Edwards and his opponents is more significant and larger than the difference in talent between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul.
Let me tell you the difference. The difference is this. This fight is going to be on the main stage. Those fights are not on the main stage. We're about to see a slaughter on national TV. A lot of people don't watch that guy.
But you're making 2 different arguments. The visibility of it notwithstanding, it's still Joshua Edwards versus like Cayman Audi, who I called 2 fights ago with him, is much more of a one-sided demolition. That was a first-round knockout as well. All but one of Edwards' fights have been first-round knockouts against guys that are just overweight non-boxers.
But see, a lot of those guys, they know they're going to get knocked out, so they just go, and anything that grazes them, they just go down. This guy, if he's trying to come to win, he's going to get hurt bad. I'm telling you right now, man, they better get a bunch of stretchers ready because not only him, but he's going to knock the whole team out. They're all going to have to go out on a stretcher.
Jalen Love is getting in
there.
They're
all going to have to go on a stretcher because this is bad. I mean, I'm just telling you, if this fight gets past the half of the first round and Joshua hasn't knocked this guy out, Joshua is a bitch. Straight up. I don't know if I can say that, but
we cannot say that on the show, so let's not.
Joshua is a itch. He like, there's no way that fight should go past that. 0 chance. 0. So, I mean, we seen with the girl that got in the ring with Sinisa. She shouldn't have been there. What happened? She got knocked out in 7 seconds. So guess what? If Joshua doesn't go demolish this guy like a demolition in the first 30 seconds, then I don't even want to watch the fight.
Yes, but you will.
No, I won't.
Yes, you will.
No, I won't.
It's on Netflix, of course you will.
But I'm not going to watch. I don't have Netflix. I have Netflix, but it works every now and then.
Passcode or something.
But yeah, I probably do. That's why it doesn't work all the time. But I'm telling you, I won't even bother watching it. I really won't. I don't really care.
Look, 30 or 40 million people are going to watch this.
But I'm not going to be one of them. Yeah, unless I go somewhere and somebody's watching it. I don't believe you.
You will. You'll be coming over to my house and sitting on my couch and watching this.
You guys are boring. I don't like to go to your house. Your house is like a freaking church. It's like, no, right. I don't want to hear that shit.
I don't know. Look, I think that anything inside 2 rounds is a win for Anthony Joshua. Because Anthony Joshua has been training. Anthony Joshua was not hopping off the couch there. He was preparing for a fight this week. He was going to get dropped into Saudi Arabia and fight an 8-round fight this week. So he's ready to go. He gets an extra month of training, probably to shave the last few of those pounds. He's in shape. Anything inside 2 rounds, good for Anthony Joshua. Anything over 4 rounds, great for Jake Paul. Jake Paul wins if that's the case.
Yeah, but he's still going to get knocked out. No matter if it goes 3, 4 rounds, whatever. It's going to be the way he gets knocked out. It's going to be you just don't get up and recover from that.
No, of course
not. You lose your brain cells. He might be messed up in the head. Look at Jeremy Williams years ago. I always remember we used to talk to him. He was a normal guy. He fought the Hawaiian guy. What was his name?
The small guy? Hawaiian Punch?
No, Jeremy Williams, a heavyweight.
Oh, the Hawaiian guy. I don't know.
Remember he fought Holyfield? Not Holyfield. He fought Lennox Lewis.
I forget. Tua?
Tua, yeah.
All right.
Tua knocked him out with a left hook. That guy was never the same. He literally, the next time we seen him, he couldn't talk right. And you know what he said? He acknowledged it. Hey, I'm not the same anymore. We're like, whoa. Like he was talking slow. Like he was like, hey, he was moving slow. That one knockout, that's going to be Jake Paul. Because you got to remember something. How often does Jake Paul get hit in his fights? Very rarely. At least those other bums, they've been fighting and they've been sparring. I'm not saying he hasn't, but he's going to get hit by a guy that weighs 245 pounds, that knows how to throw straight punches really good. Jake Paul's going to get hurt in this fight, bad. And I'm telling you right now, the sanctioning body, somebody's going to get sued because I don't know how they could allow that shit to happen.
Well, they're not going to get sued. Because,
Well, I'm saying they should.
No, they shouldn't. Do you think that you brought up, and I forgot who Sinisa fought that day, the 7-second knockout?
Atkins.
Miranda Atkins. Do you think the difference between Jake and AJ is bigger than the difference between Sinisa and Miranda Atkins?
Yeah, but our fight wasn't on the main stage. This is like the main thing.
You were on TV.
No, I know, but this is the main event of
I think you're having two different arguments.
Be like 50 people, million
I think you're
people
having
watching.
two different arguments, though. You're saying, like, if this fight was on a prelim, you'd be okay with it?
No, it shouldn't happen at all.
Okay. All right. I'm fine with it. I give Jake Paul all the credit in the world for doing this.
I give him credit because he's crazy.
The dude was preparing to fight Gervonta Davis. He had Shakur Stevenson in camp with him. And in a little over a month, he's pivoting to fight a 245-pound heavyweight who is still one of the biggest punchers in boxing.
I'm telling you, Jake Paul's got a couple of missing screws. Something's wrong with this guy.
Do you think there's any chance Jake could hurt Anthony Joshua?
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, if Jake Paul stumbles Joshua, he won. That's a win for him.
I agree.
Even if he fucking stepped on his foot, it don't matter. There's no way he should be in the same ring with him at all. That'll be embarrassing, man. I'll be embarrassed for boxing, heavyweight boxing.
Wouldn't be good for AJ. That's for sure, for his future there. All right, let's talk about the card this weekend. One of the best cards I've ever seen in terms of top to bottom talent. We're not even going to get to one of the championship fights, Abdullah Mason against Sam Noakes on that card as well. But let's start from the top and work our way down. Let's go with David Benavidez going up against Anthony Yarde. David Benavidez defending his light heavyweight title. He's 2-0 at 175. Wide, convincing decision win over Alexander Vostok. He beats David Morrell as well. Anthony Yarde, longtime light heavyweight, who is not... Every time Anthony Yarde has gotten to the ultimate test, he's failed, right? Yeah. Whether against Artur Beterbiev, against Sergey Kovalev, also lost to Lyndon Arthur. But he's a career-long light heavyweight, whereas David Benavidez, as big as he is, only been up there for a couple of fights. Do you see this being a competitive fight between Benavidez and Yarde?
Yeah. It's going to be competitive like in the first, I say the first 4 or 5 rounds. Because Yarde is a good body puncher. He throws a good variety of punches. And then you got Benavidez, who throws a lot of punches. He throws more. But see, the thing is this. To me, Benavidez is not the same that when he was at 168. He was more of a killer back then. Now he's kind of like, he beats people up, but he doesn't stop them. And then Yarde, he's been in with bigger punchers. So this fight might go further than people think. So it's going to basically come down to Yarde, his punch resistance. If he can handle all those shots, and like if Yarde goes to the body early, because he's a good puncher to the body, with a left hook to the body and the right hook to the body. So if he could do that, I think that's going to slow down Benavidez a little bit. And he's got to do it early. That would be my game plan. I would go in there, use a good jab. The problem with Yarde is all his punches are mid-range. He doesn't punch from long range. If you're going to beat somebody like Benavidez, you got to be able to punch long range every now and then. You can't punch mid-range because he's punching mid-range. He's not a long-range puncher either. But if he goes to the body early, that should pay dividends, maybe like where Benavidez doesn't have that output like he normally does. He's got to get his respect early. If he don't get his respect early, he's going to get run over.
Yeah, I mean, Yarde, it was years ago now, but he had Kovalev hurt to the body.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has the way he turns his thumb over when he throws his body shots. I can see the way they're knifing in there. He has a really good shot. And if I'm him, I'm throwing that left hook to the body over and over and over. And then just hopefully he could break Benavidez a little bit. Because to me, Benavidez is not the same guy that he was at 168.
Is it that big a difference? I mean, the fight with Vostok wasn't close. Vostok is a former champion. I know he was out of the ring for a while. The Morrell fight, I mean, going into that fight, Morrell was, I mean, he's taken a step back now, but Morrell was widely considered this boogeyman. That was, while David Benavidez was chasing Canelo Alvarez, David Morrell was chasing David Benavidez. They finally meet in the ring. And look, is it more that, is it about the weight for David Benavidez or the fact that he's facing pretty good competition at 175?
Yeah. Good look at, he faced Morrell. He punches from long range. He gave Benavidez a lot of problems. He landed some good. The only problem with him is he doesn't throw enough punches. And not only that, he was just happy to survive. This guy seems like he's already been in with big name fighters. So it's not like Morrell never had been he never fought Kovalev and he never fought Beterbiev. He never fought those guys. This guy's been on the top. He's fought the top guys. He's felt their shots, and he's came back with his own shots. So like I'm saying, if Benavidez can't get any respect and hurt him with something, he might say, hey, I could hang with this dude. And then, knock those body shots in early. And I think this fight will be really interesting. I didn't think, at first when I got the names and I heard that they were fighting, Benavidez is going to run him over. But then when I looked at him a little bit better, when you called me and I studied him a little bit, I said, wait a minute, this guy, he has a shot. If he can land some shots to the body, and he has a sneaky uppercut. It looks like a hook, and then he throws it an uppercut, or his right uppercut. He has good punch variety. The problem is he going to get respect? If he doesn't get respect, then Benavidez starts running people over.
So when I was in Texas a couple of weeks ago now, I was asking Oscar De La Hoya about Zurdo Ramirez coming back, and Zurdo's going to have, I guess, like a low-level fight some point January, February. And I was asking Oscar, I'm like, are we going to get the Zurdo Jai Apataya showdown at cruiserweight? And Oscar very quickly pivoted to something I didn't really expect. He said, how about Zurdo against David Benavidez? So what I've been hearing is that if Benavidez comes through Anthony Yarde, we could see one of those all-Mexican showdowns between Benavidez and Zurdo, potentially as early as Cinco de Mayo weekend in May. We've seen Benavidez at 175. Would you advise him to go up 25 pounds more to fight Zurdo? I know Zurdo's a former 168 too. He's another big guy fighting a new weight class, but is that too much for him?
But you know what, Zurdo? He actually is better now as a bigger fighter. I think as Benavidez goes up, he's going to get worse. And then Zurdo's a southpaw. He knows how to fight from long range. He can fight good on the inside. He's a good body puncher. After a while, you just can't keep going up. Sooner or later, you're going to run into a wall.
Well, tell me what you think of this, because I actually agree with you. I think Benavidez, if he keeps going up, he's not going to improve. I think he was the bigger he is against smaller competition, the better he is.
Yeah.
Zurdo surprised me. Like, Zurdo's a footwork guy, right? Like, it wasn't great at 168, but against cruiserweights, that same type of footwork, it's incredible. It's such an attribute, an asset for him at that weight.
But see, that's why Bernard Hopkins, he skipped a certain weight because he knew that if he moved up to light heavyweight, he could beat those guys because their feet were stuck with cement. So he knew that he can go up. He has a problem with guys that throw a lot of punches. That's Hopkins' problem. Like a guy like Jermaine Taylor, who's like a reactive guy. If you throw a jab at him, he just he lets his hands go. Those are the guys he has a problem with. That's why he lost to Calzaghe. That's why he said, wait a minute. If I go up and I fight Tarver, who doesn't throw a lot of punches, I could beat him. He knew that because he can maneuver really good. So that was the best thing he did. A lot of people didn't see that he skipped, he moved up, and they were like, oh, he's gonna suck at that way. No, he was smart because he knows he could outsmart those bigger guys. But Zurdo, he has a good jab. He's fundamentally sound. His footwork works good against the bigger guys. David, in reality, I don't want to put him down too much, but his foot placement is not good. His feet are too close together. And you got a guy like Zurdo has a good triangle stance. You jab him to the body and throw those straight punches, it's going to knock him back. The key is when you knock him back, you got to go after him because then Benavidez can't punch.
Yeah. So
I would say no.
You would say no to going up.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Just keep fighting.
But see, Oscar's smart.
Yeah.
He's not dumb.
Oscar's want to put him in with Jai. And because
Yeah.
I think Jai's footwork would give Zurdo problems.
But
Jai's
he knows that he
athleticism.
could beat, there's a good chance he could beat Benavidez.
And it's a bigger fight. Like, that's a huge U.S. fight.
Oh, yeah,
You do
big
that.
time.
I mean, that's a Vegas fight, no question about it. All right. The second fight in this card, I think, is the most fascinating by far. Devin Haney moving up as a full-fledged welterweight to take on Brian Norman. Brian Norman, 28-0, 22 knockouts. Has really burst onto the scene. Like, I'll be honest, I didn't really know who Brian Norman was before he beat Giovanni Santillan in San Diego a couple of years ago.
I got a story about that too.
Tell me your Brian Norman story.
So I seen Brian Norman. I just remember I kept hearing his name every now and then. So I looked him up one day and I saw a highlight reel of him. I said, this fucking guy is good. Like, I don't know why nobody's talking about him. And then I started watching a couple of his fights and I go, this guy is fucking really good. The way he throws his punches is really... He's a powerful guy, strong mentally. So when he fought, what was his name, Santillan or whatever?
Santillan. Yeah.
I was sitting Sinisa was calling the fight. I was sitting right behind her. And I said, I'm telling you right now, this guy is going to beat him. He's going to beat Santillan. And she was like, are you sure? I don't want to say all that. I go, I'm telling you right now, you better say it. It's going to make you look good. He's going to win this fight. And as the fight was going on, I kept tapping it on the back. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? And then boom, he got knocked out. Like I fucking told you, he's gonna beat this guy. I seen the way he throws his punches. We don't need to
swear every 15 words, by the way. We can keep it PG from now on.
So, no, but I knew it. And I said, this guy's different. And I'm gonna tell you what I did. I went to the back, since I had a pass. I went to the back and I knocked on his dressing room door. And somebody came out and they said, oh, yeah, I want to talk to him. So then he came out. I go, hey, bro, listen to me. You got something, man. And it's very rare for me to do that. You got something special. You got a way, the way you fight, your mentality. I love it. You got something good. Man, you're going to be one of the top guys. And he was like, oh, hold on, let me call my dad. Called his dad out, and I was talking to him and his dad. Hey, well, keep doing what you're doing, man. So I'm not surprised by this guy. I'm not surprised at all.
Well, he's been on a run. He had that incredible knockout of Jin Sasaki, which is probably the knockout of the year. Was it last year now, I guess, earlier this year? I forget. These are all blending together. Got another low-level win in his last fight. Taking on Haney. And look, I understand all the questions about Devin Haney, about the chin, punch resistance, all that stuff in the aftermath of the Ryan Garcia fight. I also know that he's very smart and Bill Haney is very smart when it comes to seeing things in opponents. I remember when he moved up to fight Regis Prograis, and people gave him credit at that time, deservedly so. Like, you're moving up from 135 to 140, and you're fighting a guy who at that time was like the longest reigning guy, multiple-time champion, 140 pounds, considered a dangerous puncher. And he went out there and blew the doors off Regis Prograis. He knocked Prograis down that fight. He won a near shutout decision. I think it was a shutout, actually. So I'm thinking to myself, as this, like, part of me's thinking, like, all right, Brian Norman can crack. Brian Norman's pretty good. Brian Norman's on the rise. But then I'm wondering, what do the Haneys see there? Like, what do you think that Bill Haney, Devin Haney, the entire team they have over in the UK, they talk to all the time, like, what do you think they see in Brian Norman that they can take advantage of?
The only thing that I'm really thinking about, they're looking at, is that Norman is not a fast guy on his feet. He sets to throw his shots, but he throws athletic punches that come from weird spots. Like, it'll look like a hook and it'll turn into an uppercut. It'll look like a jab and it turns into a hook. And we know that Haney, as smart as he is, how does he get hit by Ryan Garcia in the first round? How does that happen?
Well, how much of that, like, I mean, I was there, obviously, calling that fight. And I really believed that Devin, Bill, everybody on that team thought Ryan was just washed. That Ryan, he came in overweight. He was out of his mind. Like, I think mentally they didn't take that fight as seriously as they should.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why. Because of all that stuff that was happening, Bill kept telling his son, you said he was smart, but he outsmarted himself.
Yeah.
You could do that. And he kept telling his son, we're going to run right through this guy.
Yeah.
He's out of shape. He's this and this and that.
That was a mistake.
But you can't do that against a puncher. Yeah. No matter what, a puncher still has a chance. You still got to, you got to go in there with kid gloves. You still got to make sure you don't get hit by that hook. And let some rounds go by and let him wear himself down a little bit. Then you go get him. Don't go try to knock him out. Because look he's not that type of fighter. Haney's not a guy that goes out there and knocks people out.
He likes to think he is.
Yeah, but he talks like he does, but he's not. And then when he reaches and he does that thing where he drops his elbow like that, people say, well, Mayweather got away with it because Mayweather was smarter. That's why. So you could say that Haney's really smart, but he was really dumb that night. And so was his dad, because his dad literally ran him into that punch because he kept telling him, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do that.
Walk him down, all that stuff.
You could ask any fighter that ever said, I don't give a fuck how shitty this fighter is. Even when Sinisa knocked out that girl in 7 seconds, she foot fainted first when she went in just to see what she's going to do. Then she went just to see if she's going to throw a bomb. Don't be somebody else's highlight reel. Like, come on, man. They should have still kept that hook in their head. Move to go around it, throw the right hand, slide under it, take it away as the fight went on. Feint it. But no, they wanted to go out there and do something spectacular. And guess what? They ended up being on the other end of the spectacular.
So the question people have been asking after that is, was something taken out of Devin Haney that night? And the Ramirez fight kept those questions alive. Like, I never thought of Devin as a runner before the last fight. You know, people accused him.
He's a boxer. He's a good boxer.
And he stands in the pocket.
Yeah.
He does. Like, against Lomachenko, he stood in the pocket.
Smaller
Against Regis
guy,
Prograis, he stood but against Prograis, he stood in the pocket. Like, he didn't run from Prograis.
But this thing with the Prograis in the pocket, Prograis doesn't throw a lot of punches. He likes to look for a shot, and he couldn't find it. So
How is that different, though, than Brian Norman?
Norman is a stronger guy, Norman has a mentality like a Bernard Hopkins. He sees things and he waits and waits, and then boom, he'll just come out of nowhere with it. So you could see him thinking while he's doing it. He's very cerebral. He'll go in there, he'll touch you, and then bop, he'll hit you over here. Then pop, then boom. It's like when he knocked out the guy he last fought, or 2 fights ago?
Jin Sasaki.
He waited for that shot. They saw that because I had saw a video of that guy, and I said, oh my God, this guy punches hard, but he leaves himself wide open afterwards. So they saw that on video.
Sasaki does walk into a lot of stuff like that. I'm the knockout was spectacular. That he was knocked out was not surprising to me.
He threw that right hook to the body, and he dropped it. His hands are low, like he stands straight up. So they saw that. So they already knew it. It wasn't something that just happened at the moment. Boom, boom. He already knew that, and he came up and knocked him out. And I was like, oh my God, that was that was devastating. So, I mean, Brian Norman, look, I'm not saying that Haney can't outbox him, but he's going to be dangerous to the entire fight. And I just feel that he's going to get something somewhere down the line. He's going to catch Haney with something, because everybody catches him with something. Even Lomachenko had him hurt, and he's a small guy. Brian Norman's a solid dude, a solid guy. He throws he's not the fastest guy, but he thinks fast. Like, he's not like a Roy Jones guy or something like that. He's a really quick thinker. So as soon as it pops, he'll just let it go. So that is even better than being speedy, being a fast
Sounds
fighter.
like Roy Jones is what he does. Some of his interviews,
Yeah.
including the ones we did with him a couple of months back now. He sort of talks like Roy with that.
Well, he's getting more confidence now. Like,
He's very confident going into this fight. Like, I don't think he's in Devin's head at all, but I think he didn't let Devin in his head. Like, Devin's not in his head.
Devin talks too much, man. For me, a boxer shouldn't talk that like the way he does. He makes it. That's why it hurts him after the fight, because he talks all this crazy stuff, and then he runs around the ring, and people say, "Oh, you suck."
Is that? I mean, not to compare Devin to Floyd, but didn't Floyd do the same things?
Yeah, but see, people wanted to see Floyd get knocked out.
I mean, they kind of want to see Devin get knocked out.
Yeah, they do. But
like,
but
he's
Devin,
not there yet, but he's on that same path, right?
But
Like, if he keeps doing, like, if he whitewashes Brian Norman, if he beats him like 11-1, he can preen around and say, you can't touch me, you can't beat me. He can be the bad guy. There's money in being the bad guy.
But you also got to be able to fight a little bit. You can't just run around the ring, because no matter what, fans don't want to see that. You got to be. Look at what the Canelo fight. What's his name? The guy he fought,
Crawford.
Crawford.
Yeah.
He boxed really good, and then he fought near the end. That's what made the fight good. That's what saved him, because I would have said, okay, he could do this. Show me something else you could do. And then he went in the inside. And then he started ripping him on the inside, and I said, okay, I'll give you your credit now, because he did it both ways. And they didn't talk a lot of trash. He didn't need to talk trash. Yeah. He spoke with his performance.
I mean, his performances, though, leading up to that have largely been spectacular. Like, he has been an entertaining fighter in the ring. He doesn't have to do the Floyd stuff where it's like you. And look, even Devin and Brian Norman called him out on this during the face-off. Devin's sounding like Floyd. You know, he's using the same catchphrases.
Yeah, I could see the certain things he says,
He's doing the same thing. So, I mean, I think this fight can go several different ways. I can see Devin outboxing him. I can see Brian Norman catching him. Like, right now, what would you say? What's your prediction for how that fight plays out?
If I'm Norman, I would have to say, is through a trainer's point of view, I'm working the body early. I'm throwing right hooks to the body. I'm throwing left hooks to the body. I'm jabbing to the body. I'm just going to the body early, just so he could feel my strength. Even if he hits him on the arm, because that guy's strong. I would hit Devin's arms, his shoulders. That's going to make Devin say, wow, if I get caught with one of these, it might be lights out for me. So then he'll start running around the ring, and then people start booing him. And then Norman starts getting closer and closer. And then I could see Devin being ahead in the fight and then getting caught with something and then getting wobbled. Maybe like a left hook to the temple or something. And then getting wobbled. And then getting and then he tries to get close because he's kind of hurt. And then I could see Norman like just methodically uppercuts, small punches, boom, 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 not trying to do too much. Just keep him hurt. Just keep him dazed all the time. That way when he goes back to his corner, his dad starts telling him, hey, come on, you got to go back to your jab. You got to go back. And then counter the jab. Because then the other corner should say, he's going to start going back to the jab now because he felt your power. So now I'm on the other side. I'm going to say, they're going to do that. Now let's slip the jab and let's come over the top and hit him with the right hand over his jab. Let's take away his jab. Because that's his bet. Once you take Devin's jab away, he's just a regular guy.
So you think Norman wins?
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. I think he's going to stop him. Like,
do you think he can outbox him? Do you think he can win a decision against him? I think that's the tough part. I think he's going to have to stop.
The problem is this. Haney has a bigger name. So in a close fight, they're going to probably give it to him. So I think Norman, I think he knows that he has to stop him. So he's got to start early and say, look, this fight's going to go late.
I would say this about the judging over there. Hamza Shiraz didn't get a win against Carlos Adames right there, and he was the house guy.
Yeah.
He was Turki Al-Ashik's guy over there.
good.
So it's been pretty good. And they've been able to get, and look, I think the Haneys are smart enough, and Norman's team, Jolene Mazzone, top rank, they're going to make sure that the right judges at least are there. I'm not worried about that. I just think that if it goes to a decision, it's not going to be, I think Devin's going to have like an 8-4 type of edge. I think if it all goes all the way, he's going to be in control in the ring. His jab is going to be the most effective weapon.
But I'm telling you right now, Devin's not going to fight the way he talks. I guarantee it.
He never does.
I know.
He said he's going to knock. He never does. He never does.
Yeah.
He always talks like he's going to be a puncher, but then he goes in there with a pretty disciplined game plan. It's funny talking about. I'm fascinated by the hatred that Devin gets because he's a pretty good guy. Yes, he's flashy. When it comes to resume, not many guys his age and younger have a better resume. Brian Norman doesn't have a better resume than Devin Haney.
Oh yeah, but you got to look at Haney's resume. A lot of people thought he lost the Lomachenko fight.
Yeah, but you know what? I hate that though. Like it's a competitive fight.
No, I get it.
It was a good fight.
I get it. But look at the fight he beat. He won. He beat the one guy from Australia. He won the undisputed title with one fight.
Yeah.
I like to see somebody beat the one champion, then beat the other champion. He did it with one fight, and that guy's not a great fighter. So
but you did what you had to do in that situation.
No,
like the guys get the belts. He makes you come to Australia twice to fight him.
Because that guy's Devin will beat that guy.
Yeah,
100 out of 100.
A lot of guys have beaten George Kambosos in the last
And
couple of years.
seen that.
But he defended against Lomachenko. Didn't have to. He didn't have to fight Lomachenko.
But he got lucky that he fought Lomachenko later on. If he was calling out Lomachenko earlier, Lomachenko would have stopped him. So Devin he's feather boned. He doesn't have like really strong bones. He has a good structure of a body. He has nice wide shoulders, a little waist. He moves good, but he's feather boned. He doesn't have heaviness in his punches. They're snappy. They're quick. So people just got to kind of start walking through those things and slip and just keep ripping him to the arms, body. Just hit him anywhere. And as the fight goes on, it'll start wearing his jab down. Start hitting his bicep on his jabbing arm, on his shoulder area. Just hit that shit. Don't even aim at his head. Boom, boom. Sooner or later, he's going to dip into it.
Yeah, I think it's a competitive fight. I like Devin by decision. You like Norman?
That's a good fight. I thought you said you were going for Norman before.
No, I'm not. I didn't say
like
that.
a couple months ago, I thought you said you were going for Norman.
Maybe I've got too much recency bias here, but I just remember wondering, like, when Devin moved up to 140, he was like, I'm going to fight Prograis right away. No tune-up, no nothing. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. And then he goes out and just completely washes him. I wonder what they see in Norman. Like, if they see something that he can exploit in the same way that they exploited with Prograis. I know they're not the same fighter. Norman's bigger, he's stronger, he's younger. But the footwork, I think, is the comparable thing.
That's what it is.
Norman's footwork, as you said, is not great. Prograis' footwork is not great. Devin's footwork is great. Devin has great footwork. I think that if he wins by decision, that's going to be
Norman's more of an athletic puncher.
He is. Than explosive, yes.
Yeah, and he goes from point A to point B. He doesn't look fast. He just like, boom, and all he just catches you. So that, to me, is going to be the thing. Where there's going to be somewhere in that fight, I'm telling you, he's going to land a shot that it didn't look that hard, and you're going to see Devin like, whoa, like, fuck, this guy, this guy, he could hit, he could punch, and that's going to change the whole fight. Then he might go on his bicycle and start running around. Then I don't want to see that because
I don't think he can win that way. I don't think he can win a fight running against Norman. I don't think the judges would give him that in the same. Like, he fought Ramirez and he ran, but Ramirez couldn't let his hands go. Ramirez is respectfully washed. Norman's not. Norman's going to track him down. Norman's going to throw body shots. Norman's going to be aggressive. And you don't have to stand there and trade with him. That would be a mistake, but you've got to fight. You can't run.
Yeah, you got to fight, but make it you got to fight it a smart way. So if Devin could do that and get in, I'll give the guy all the credit. The one thing about me, I can't hate on somebody that they pass the criteria test in my head. If I see them box a good way and I go, fight a little bit now, and then they do that, I'm like, okay, I give him his credit. Because it's not that I don't like him. I like him. He carries himself good. He does all the right things. He doesn't get caught up in a bunch of illegal stuff outside the ring. So he's good for the sport. The problem is, don't talk all that stuff, man, if you're not going to fight that way. That's why people that I know don't like him.
Yeah, I get it. A lot of people don't. I think it's an interesting story in boxing why so many people don't like Devin Haney. Last one, Bam Rodriguez against Puma Martinez. Unification fight, 3 belts at 115 pounds. I think it's a great fight for this weight class. This is the fight, Dean. I don't think is going to be the least bit competitive. I don't.
You don't think what?
It's not going to be competitive. I don't believe it for a second. Like Puma Martinez, credit, 18 wins, only 9 of them by knockout. So there's some questionable power stuff there. He has fought some good guys, back-to-back wins over Kazuto Ioka. He's got a win, 2 wins actually over Jerwin Akaha. So he's fought some pretty good guys in and around these weight classes. But I think Bam is special. Like, I think Bam is a true top 5 pound for pound talent who, as he's getting bigger, is getting better. Like, the power is there. We saw it in his last fight. He fought a guy in Kafu the last time that wanted nothing to do with him. That just every corner, you saw the fight, used every corner of the ring. And Bam was patient. He tracked him down and he eventually knocked him out. Puma Martinez is not going to do that. Puma Martinez is a come forward type of guy. And that's straight into the wheelhouse of Bam Rodriguez. I think this is a spectacular first half of the fight knockout. Inside 6 rounds, I think Bam Rodriguez catches him.
I'd never heard of the guy, the Puma, before until you told me to look him up. So I looked him up. The first thing I noticed is he's kind of explosive. He's got a way of throwing his punches in an explosive way, but you just said he only has 9 knockouts. So I don't know how much that has to do with his opposition, but he does have anybody, I don't care what anybody says, anybody that has any kind of explosiveness, they have a chance. So if you could explode into a right hand and you could land it right on the button, he has a chance. Like, I could have said, oh, this is going to be easy. But when I saw that he has explosiveness, that made me say he has a chance. But if he doesn't land all those shots early, you're right. Bam's going to go to the body. Bam's a methodical. He picks people apart. He beats you up slowly, like kind of like a Marvin Hagler. He beats you down. He's not the most explosive guy, but he's pinpoint with his punches. Straight left hand to the body. Double jabs upstairs, straight left hand. Slide over, left hook to the body. Slide this way, right hook to the body. So he does all that stuff. And that's what those people, this guy only has a chance in the first 3 rounds. After that, he's going to run out of ideas. And once he runs out of ideas, he's going to start covering up and start moving away. So
we've seen that a lot. So many guys fight Bam and they have a couple of game plans coming in. And by the end of the first half of the fight, they're like, what am I going to do? Juan Francisco Estrada, like all the confidence in the world coming into that fight. He ran out of ideas 5 rounds.
Because a lot of those guys, they fight straight ahead. There's nobody, the smaller guys, they don't fight with any kind of angles. He's the only guy that fights with angles. So he kind of sets himself apart. They're not used to seeing that. They're used to going to war. So what he does, Bam goes to war on them, but they can't war back on him. So that's what wears them down mentally, where they're like, fuck, I can't get this. He's sliding over here, and he's over here. So that throws them off. That's why I love footwork so much, because it'll take the war out of the war.
So what do you like about Bam's footwork? Because you are a footwork-centric coach. Sergio had great footwork. Sinisa had better footwork. Bam has that kind of Lomachenko movements, right? Like where he turns,
he said it in an
pivots.
interview. He studied him a lot, and he liked his moves. So that's what sets him apart. Because if he didn't have those moves, we might not be talking about him right now. So those moves set him apart. Like Sinisa, the moves we work on, that's what sets her apart than the other girls. They don't do those type of things. They try to. We've actually had sparring partners that sparred her over and over and over. They started trying to doing the moves she was doing, and because they see how effective it is on them, and it gets you in a position to land body shots that you don't see. So it's not like these guys can't take body shots; it's that they don't see the body shots. So when Bam slides over here, you twist your body over here, and your guard goes with it. There's a big opening over here to the liver. And all of a sudden he slides in there, boom. And you're like, they don't see it. It's like somebody punched them that they didn't even know was in the ring with them. So it's like fighting 2 or 3 fighters at the same time. So that's what makes his movement effective.
Yeah. So look, I think we're both on the same page. I think it's a knockout for Bam Rodriguez. Whatever it comes, first half of the fight would be my guess. Bam is then going to unify probably in the first quarter of next year. There's the IBF belt out there that's up for grabs, I think this month, next month, one of those. But it's not somebody I think is going to threaten him. Let me ask you this. If you were training Bam Rodriguez and they came to you in the summer of 2026, when you cleaned out 115, and they said, Inoue's right there. He just beat Junto Nakatani. He's ready to fight you in September, December, whatever. In Japan, in Vegas, I don't know, whatever.
What will be the weight class?
122. He'd have to go up 2 weight classes to fight Naoya Inoue, who would be undisputed at 122.
I'm going to tell you the big problem that Bam's going to have. Those moves that he does against these guys, they only work when guys are close. Inoue fights from long range most of the time. He has long punches. He lands all his punches right at the end. Bam won't be able to use those moves against him. That's how you beat a guy that has good movements, that has good positionings. Don't get close to them. They can't do those moves on their way out there. Because if he does that move, you're still right there. You got to do it here to hide over here, where your own guard blinds you. But over here, I could see you. And anyway, he punches that guy, man. Bam will get hurt in that fight.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, Inoue did start his career at 108.
Yeah, but the way to beat Inoue is you can't beat him up. You got to knock him out. And Bam
he
is not
did get
that
knocked
guy.
down in May.
Yeah, but he didn't go out.
No.
And he got beat by guys that are big. He got hit
knocked
by
down by Louis Neary too.
Yeah, but he got dropped by guys that are bigger. This guy's jumping up 2 weight classes. He's gonna lose a lot of his power. So he's gonna have to outbox Inoue. That's not gonna happen. Inoue, he fights he's like a cat. You move at him and he jumps back. You move back, he jumps in. He turns over here, bop. His punches are too explosive. He's like Roy Jones. You're not gonna beat Roy Jones by beating him up. You got to knock him out. Even though later on in his career, like Kazagi beat him, he was already old. He didn't have his legs anymore. This guy's not old. So to me, I don't see Bam going more than 4 rounds with this guy.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I see a big straight right hand.
They were ready, like, and this has been discussed before. It was out there. But earlier in the year, Turki Al-Sheikh offered Bam a fight against Nakatani at 118. And Nakatani's a big guy.
No,
Nakatani's bigger than Inoue.
Yeah.
It was Nakatani that turned it down. And I get what Nakatani was doing. He wanted to set up this Inoue fight, which is probably worth a pile of money to him. But I thought it was interesting that Robert Garcia, Team Bam, Matchroom, they were ready to jump up to 118 then to fight Nakatani. That tells them they got some confidence, a bigger guy. I mean, Nakatani's huge, and he's the king of 118.
Okay, but let me tell you why. If a fighter comes to his trainer and says, I want to fight that guy, I don't care what you say, they're going to do it. Because the fighter wants to do something special, you can't stop him. So, it's like when Sergio came to me and said, I'm fighting Vernon Forrest. I was like, that's the one guy I never wanted to see across the ring from us. But I couldn't say no. So, Bam is down to fight anybody. That's his thing. That's another thing that makes him great, that he is not afraid to fight anybody. He has a certain mentality. He's like, let's do it. Let's do it. How much are we getting paid? Let's do it. So I could see if he was a little reluctant, like, oh, maybe he should. Then they would read into that, his people. Okay, well, we're going to skip that fight. We'll go get something else. But if a fighter says, I want to do that, you think Robert Garcia is going to say, no, I don't. He might say, hey, let's do this now. No, Robert, I want to do that. He's going to say, fuck, okay, if you want to do that, do it. Let's do it. Because you can't stop a fighter from being a fighter. When a fighter puts his foot down and says, I want, that's when people say, if he really wants to do it, he could do it. He could. Unless somebody talks him out of it. But I don't think Robert and their team are into talking people out of stuff. They might say, oh, we could do that. But they're going to say, yeah, we could beat that guy. He doesn't throw that like Nakatani. He's a long puncher, southpaw. That guy's a tough guy. I mean, I think he has a chance of beating Inoue. But I just don't see Bam beating Inoue. I just don't see it.
Ever or, I mean, look, Bam's in his mid-20s.
Unless he gets beat up a couple of times or he gets knocked out.
I mean, look, I think my issue would be, is it too soon, right? Like, he's only at 115. Let him go up to 118, have 1 or 2 fights. Maybe we're talking 2027 for then. I think he can get there. I think I get what you're saying, but I think if he's physically mature and naturally getting to 122, I think his skill set's going to be a problem for Inoue too. I think he can get close to him. I think he can step around him.
He won't. I'm telling you. This guy's too fast on his feet. When I first heard about that they might fight, I said, that's a bad fight for Bam. He looks great against those guys, but he won't look good. Look at James Toney. That guy was beating everybody. Then he fought a cat-like fighter like Roy Jones. He made him look like an idiot. He left him standing there all the time because he was too fast. And not only that, Jones came up in weight to fight Toney. Bam's going to have to go up to fight Inoue. That's not a good thing. Bam's got dropped, right? By who was it dropped him? Some guy dropped him.
Estrada dropped him.
Estrada dropped him.
Flash.
Okay, yeah. But guess what? Inoue is a way better fighter than Estrada, and he hits a lot harder.
You just, like, you downplayed Inoue getting dropped by Louis Neary.
Because he's a bigger guy. And then
Gaia was a natural 115. Like, Gaia was a I think, a natural.
Look at the shot he got. Look at Bam is not going to knock out Inoue with one punch. It's not going to happen. The guy that knocked him
He doesn't
down the
really
last time
knock
was
out
a
many
big
guys
guy.
one punch, yeah.
He was setting up. He was looking for that one shot against Inoue, because Inoue throws his right. He always drops his. When he throws his left, he drops his right hand. So everybody can see that shot open. I mean, I don't understand why more people haven't gone after it. So Bam will have a chance if he throws a right hook when they're letting. But you have to have the guts to let your hands go against Inoue. And I'm not saying he doesn't, because he does. But that's going to get him in trouble.
I think it'd be interesting. That's a big super fight if they can
Oh, yeah, it'll be a great fight.
see eye to eye in 2026.
Hopefully, if they do that, they could do it over here.
Here's the question now to finish up here. We began with Jake Paul. I want to end with him here. If Jake Paul is looking for a comeback fight in 2026, I guess, could you train Sergio Mora to beat him in an 8-round fight?
Depends on what weight.
One, it would have to be like a 190 fight.
How much does Sergio weigh now? He doesn't weigh 190.
He's kind of getting fat, so which he'll admit to. He says he's been putting on the pounds.
You know what? If I trained him, it wouldn't be to throw a lot of punches. It would be to outsmart Jake. It would, because I know what Jake likes to do. And if you could exploit that, then you could get away from what he does best. You could make him throw that right hand. He loves that right hand. He doesn't have much of a left hook. Everything about him is right-handed. Everything. So if you can keep sliding over to the right, you're right, and jam him up when he gets close. But see, Sergio's legs are not what they used to be. I mean, Sergio would have to catch him early with something, and he's not a big puncher. We would just have to catch him clean right when he's throwing his right hand. So it'll be double impact. So Jake will be throwing the right hand. Sergio will tilt over and let the right hand go over his shoulder and come over with the right hook over the top and catch him on the chin. That's the only way. But nah, it won't happen.
Dean, always appreciate it, man.
No problem.
All right, when we come back, I will be joined by Bam Rodriguez. All right, Bam Rodriguez, the unified 115-pound champion, looking to add another belt to his collection when he takes on Fernando Martinez on DAZN pay-per-view live in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where we find Bam Rodriguez right now. Bam, your first trip to Saudi, give it to me. What's the experience been like so far?
It's been pretty boring, to be honest. We've just been in the room and in the gym. We're pretty much still in training camp, so it's nothing different from Riverside. It's just a little bit more, I guess, secluded, or you're stuck in the room more. But, I mean, other than that, it's been good, feel good, ready to go.
Yeah, I can understand that. You spend a lot of time in your room, maybe a lot of time ordering room service when you're up there.
Every
Just
day.
not a lot. You've got some people in your team, though. Robert's been there before. Virgil has been there before from your camp. Did you seek out kind of any advice from people about kind of what to expect when you got there?
I didn't, but they told me it was going to be a little rough. I didn't believe them until I got out here. That's when I finally, found out myself. But the first couple of days, it was a little rough, but after that, it was a little bit easier to catch on with the time change and a different schedule from back home.
I had heard that they asked you about going to the Ben Eubank fight, and you were like, "Nah, I'm just going straight to Saudi Arabia." Is that right?
I mean, it was cool if I spent the week in London, but I really didn't want to go to the fight. I just wanted to stay locked in and work out and just come out here after that. But I mean, I think it's a good thing that we came out here that extra week just because I got more adjusted quicker, so it all worked out.
But you're the kind of guy too, like you're not going to a lot of fights regardless, are you? You're maybe you're watching some fights, but you're not, there are some people in boxing that are in it every moment of every day. You seem to be on the opposite end of that spectrum.
I mean, like you said, most of the fights I watch back home, in my own home. So, it's pretty much what I wanted to do with the Eubank fight as well. Just stay home and watch it on TV. I don't mind watching it on TV. There's some fights that I do have to see in person. That's rare. So most of the time I'm just at home by myself with my family.
You're becoming that phrase, everybody's favorite fighter's favorite fighter. I saw Shakur Stevenson recently make some comments about his thoughts on you. Ben Whitaker had some comments about you recently. I'm wondering, have you noticed kind of some of that respect that seems to be coming your way from a lot of people in boxing?
Yeah, I've noticed it a lot more recently. Like you said, Shakur, Devin Haney, Ben Whitaker. I didn't even know that Ben Whitaker knew who I was. So the fact that he was, speaking high praise about me means a lot. A lot of great fighters have mentioned my name. So just it's an honor just knowing that I'm one of the fighters in the lower weight classes that don't get too much attention. So the fact that I'm even on the pound for pound list or being mentioned by names that I just listed, it's an honor.
You know, Shakur mentioned a sparring session that he had with you at some point, and he said you caught him with a good body shot.
Yeah.
Two things. One, you're much smaller than Shakur. Two, Shakur doesn't get hit with a lot of shots, body or otherwise.
Yeah.
Do you remember that sparring session?
I remember just being in the ring. I don't remember how it went or what. I know Shakur, he was working with me. I was only like 101 or 106 pounds at the time, and he was already at 123. So we were just in there getting the movements in. But I guess I did catch him with a body shot, and he felt it.
I was saying that you're everybody's favorite fighter, but who's your favorite fighter? If there was somebody that you love to watch on a regular basis, who would that be?
Of all time or right now?
Right now, like say you're at home and you're somebody you can't miss on the calendar.
Oh man, Terrence Crawford.
Yeah. What is it about Bud's? But
Even before the Canelo fight, I was a Terrence Crawford fan. I know a lot of people jumped on the bandwagon when he beat Canelo, but I've been a Crawford fan for a while now.
yeah, and I mean, it's not exactly the same, but your styles with the technique, footwork. I mean, have you gotten some of your stuff from watching Bud over the years?
Um, I wouldn't say so. I don't really watch too much boxing. I don't study too much. I just work on things in the gym, and it just comes to me naturally.
So, prepping for this fight in particular, you've been out there for about a week now. You've got 4 or 5 days to go. I think I just saw like the start time for the fight is like 11 p.m. local time. Like, what is your what are you trying to do this week to get yourself right? Because Bam, I have seen guys that have been there, and I'm sure Robert's talked to you about this, but like guys that have just been like, wait a minute, I'm fighting at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. Like it's a real adjustment. What have you kind of done to try to adjust to that?
Well, they had mentioned that before we got out here. So when we got out here, we kind of try to change our sleep schedule. I'm going to sleep at 6 a.m. and waking up 2 p.m. So I'm still getting my 8 hours of sleep, but it's just a whole different from the U.S. But other than that, I feel good. It did take me a while to adjust to that, but I mean, I feel good now.
The Puma Martinez fight, obviously the stakes are what they are. 3 belts now on the line, plus the Ring Magazine belt as well. You said before your last fight against Cafu, you knew he was going to be tricky. You knew he was going to be challenging. What do you think of this one? How difficult do you think Puma is going to be to figure out?
It's just a matter of getting there and seeing. We already know the style he brings to the table, what he does right, what he does wrong. So we know more. We expect more of Puma than we did from Cafu. Cafu, like he said, he was a tricky opponent, and then he switched up his whole style come fight night. I don't think Martinez is going to do that, so we kind of already expect a come forward fight from Martinez.
Yeah, I think it's probably fair to say that Martinez is not going to use every corner of the ring in the way that Cafu did.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to go like literally every inch Cafu used that ring. Puma, from what we've seen, he's a straightforward kind of guy. Are you expecting him to try to engage with you like that?
I think so. I mean, he seems like a fighter that just doesn't care who he's in there with, and I respect that. But I mean, it's a different story when he gets in there with me.
Yeah, I would think he might figure that one out pretty quickly in this fight.
Yeah.
You're inching closer to undisputed. You're a unified champion now at 115, unified for the first time. You always wanted to be undisputed, but as it gets a little bit closer, do you want it more? Does it become more desirable to be known as the undisputed champion in a weight class?
Yeah, it does. Just knowing that if I were able to get past this fight, there's only one belt out there, and that's the closest I've ever been to undisputed my whole career. So just being that close makes it that much more. It gives me that much more motivation to go out there and get it done.
It's been a long time since we've seen you fight an undercard. The third fight in this show, which speaks to the level of the show. I mean, you got Devin Haney as a co-main and Benavidez, so it's no slight. But is that going to be a different feeling? Usually you're the main event coming out there, all the pomp and circumstance that comes with it.
I mean, honestly, I don't care. Like you said, there's a lot of great fighters on the card. Any of these fights could have been the main event, so I have no problem being the second fight on the card for this card. But I'm just here to handle business and go home.
When you've got a fight in front of you, you're trying to go for undisputed, but we talk all the time about what you want out of the next couple of years in boxing. When you talk to Robert, Eddie will certainly be out there at some point this week. Like, what do you want 2026 to look like for you?
Just staying busy like this year. I had 2 fights this year, so next year I would like to do the same.
Do you think that you'll like 118? Is that the next stop for you?
Yeah, I think so. Say I have the undisputed fight that one last 115 fight, and then move up after that.
You think you'll be fighting again in Saudi Arabia next year?
I will see. We'll see. It's really not up to me. They tell me. They tell me where I'm fighting, who I'm fighting, and I just agree to it.
Last question for you. Your thoughts on what Virgil, your stablemate, did this past weekend? The win over Erickson Lubin puts him in line for a Boots Ennis fight.
Yeah, I mean, that was the best outcome that he could have got, knowing Boots. He finished his opponent in the first round. Virgil went out and I believe stopped a tougher opponent than Ennis, but he did it in the second round. So that just goes to show that, I mean, this is gonna be a great fight for all the boxing. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for that fight as a fight fan.
Yeah. Well, Bam, your fight's going to be great. I think it's going to be the fight of the night. I think it has the potential to be explosive
bro.
and a lot of fun, man. Good luck to you on Saturday and looking forward to seeing you back.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.